Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the 30 Days to Happiness podcast. Today we're going to talk about how you can get back on track. This is such a high topic and a hot topic at the moment because a lot of us will either fall off the wagon with our habits. A lot of us may be leaving a relationship, or you've broken up with somebody, or divorcing, or maybe you're simply just coming back from a holiday like I did. I just got married and I went to Hamilton Island for, I think it was 7 nights to be honest, but oh my gosh, it was just the best thing ever. I just enjoyed it so much. But with all my clients, they're mostly business owners. So when they come back, or like anyone, you're like, oh, do I have to get back into it? And I couldn't wait to get back into it, but I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit tough getting back into the routine. So here are a few pointers that you can implement to help you get back on track and, 10x your happiness straight away, because we don't really want you to start your work week feeling deflated, like you actually don't want to be here. Once you get into the routine, you'll start finding that you're a little bit more confident, you're feeling a little bit better about yourself, and we want to get those quick wins to help you do that. So the first thing is to understand, what are you currently not in control of at the moment? Now, this is really important because the only time we really become unhappy is when we're not feeling in control. If you really think about a time when you weren't feeling in control of the situation, you probably were super unhappy. If that was, you're not in control of your finances or a relationship or a specific outcome, or you wanted this outcome or perceived a certain outcome and you didn't get what you wanted, then you kind of feel unfulfilled, right? Because you didn't fill that cup up, you didn't meet your own expectations. So really ask yourself, what in my life do I currently have no control over? So it could simply be, all right, I don't have control over my next door neighbors being super loud at night, but what I could do is go over there and ask them to be quiet, right? There's like an action step. Something you have no control over, maybe your financial situation. But have a think about what you do have control over. You do have control over your routine. You do have control over, you may not have control over your baby crying if you're a mum or a stay-at-home dad or whoever you currently are. But you do have control over certain things when it comes to you and also your business. So like I just said, you have control over your routine. You have control over the food that you put into your mouth to nourish your body. You have control if you want to exercise or not. You have control if you want to choose to take action today. So firstly, what are you in control of, and what are you not in control of? I want you to write that down. Now, the second thing, we want to get into a bit of a routine. When you're in routine, you have momentum, right? And then you create a habit. Habit is created by doing something again and again, so repetition, having the discipline to continue to do it, and then it becomes a second thought, becomes second nature, right? And the thing is, when creating a habit, you need routine, right? There's the trigger, there's the routine, and there's the reward. Now, the trigger, we'll talk about in a second, and the routine doesn't really matter, but the body just wants to go to the reward. The brain doesn't actually know the difference between, an action and a thought, but what it does is feels an emotion. So for example, if you go to sleep tonight, the trigger to wake up may be your alarm. The routine might be, all right, what is something that we're going to create to help you step into the routine to get up to go to the gym? That simply might be having a glass of water. The reward is you get to get up, you feel amazing, and you get to the gym. Now that may not actually be high enough for you, or good quality enough for you with the reward. So we need to really take a step back when we start building a habit that's based around routine, on how you can actually see an outcome that's related to your purpose and your values, right? So for me, if I don't wake up on time, and my routine is I wake up, I say a bit of like an affirmation or a prayer, I put my workout gear on, and I get straight to my workout, Pilates, whatever I'm currently doing at the moment. Now, my reward is after that workout, well, this is like another routine again, right? The waking up is a workout, The waking up is a routine, and the workout is another routine, right? And the reward after is I feel amazing, I feel energized, and I'm ready to rock and roll for my clients. So every single habit that you want to implement, don't just pick a random habit just because someone else is doing it. Pick a habit that is actually going to drive you and you have a big enough why to continue it. Otherwise, the discipline to create this routine is not going to pretty much exist. So think about routine, like what time do you want to start waking up? I really love grabbing out your calendar and time blocking these. And I know some people aren't able to time block because you're parents or you're working from home or you simply hate calendars. And that's totally fine. But I really find it helps to either just write it down, stick it on your wall, or simply have a calendar with you. So firstly, start time blocking. What time you're going to wake up. Now, if you snooze your alarm, the biggest thing is you want to train yourself to not snooze your alarm. So the easiest way to do this is simply, instead of having, 5 alarms set, maybe just have 2 alarms set, and knowing that if you snooze, you have like 10 minutes to pretty much till the next alarm goes off. And that will actually teach you that you have to get up either way if it's the second alarm. So we're working backwards. If you set 5 alarms, we're setting 2 alarms, and then eventually you'll have 1 alarm, and eventually your body will wake up because your body is a clock, right? It will start waking up with energy, and just like your nighttime routine. So the first hour of the day is, I really believe, the most crucial because it's going to distinguish how you feel, how you react, how the rest of your day is going to go. So what are you going to do the first hour of the day? For me, I made a decision about 4 years ago that I wanted to use the first hour of my day for me. No one else, for me. So I'd wake up, I say my affirmations, wash my face, do whatever, and then I will go to the gym or do a workout at home, and then I'll have my breakfast, set my day up, maybe do some reading, and that's my time just for me, right? To think and have clarity before I start jumping on back-to-back meetings all day, which I love. Like, I love what I do. So have a little think about what can you do to start putting yourself first or get your day rock and rolling that's going to help you show up the best version of you. A really great question to ask yourself is, am I showing up the best version of me right now? And is that 10-year version of me who I want to become, am I showing up right now as that person, as that millionaire, as that amazing mother, as that person who has 5 investment properties, or whatever your goal is in life? Am I showing up as that person, and am I adapting the right habits to become that person and adapt that identity? So ask yourself those questions. When it comes back to routine, whereabouts are you going to exercise? What time? Put in your calendar. What are you going to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? When are you going to eat your breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Your nighttime routine. What are you going to do the hour before bed so you are set up for a good sleep? Something relaxing, away from technology. Try your best to get to bed every single night at the same time. Again, your body's like a clock. So I've actually trained myself to sleep at the same time most nights by reading, right? The last 5 years, I read for half an hour before I go to sleep. And sometimes I can't even make it through the half an hour because I'm literally that tired. But the thing is, I've trained myself to do that. So whenever I read, this is kind of a good and bad thing, but whenever I read, I start getting sleepy because that is what I've trained my body to do. The thing is, you can train your body and mind to do absolutely anything. Just remind yourself of that every single day. So bedtime, and what are you doing every hour of the day? Now, this may seem super overwhelming for some of you, but I want you to have a look at what you're doing every hour of the day. Now, a lot of people will come to me and I'll ask them, what are you doing between this time and this time? It might be 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And they usually say, oh, I'm just working. But the thing is, like, you're not just working and not doing anything if you don't know what you're doing, right? You need to have a specific SOP within that time period to be able to go, all right, well, this is my productive hours. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing emails here. I'm not going to look for distractions. I'm not going to allow myself to be distracted. Put my phone on silent and get this done. So that's just a really great way to help you sit down, have a operating procedure for you to be able to follow every single hour of the day. That's what I love to do. That's what works a lot for my clients. The fourth thing is fueling your body. So your health, right? We've talked about routine. We've talked about planning. Talk about your health. Now you want to start fueling your body, especially when you come back from a holiday and you're used to eating whatever you want to eat. Or you just had a really bad week emotionally and you know you haven't eaten that well, then what I really suggest is that You dial in on your health, you go grocery shopping, you figure out what are you going to eat for dinner every night. What you can do, and this is a bit of a strategy, is eat what you have for dinner, leftovers. If you're a leftover kind of person, I know some of you aren't. You can eat the same thing for lunch the next day pretty much. So you can do that, or you can simply just make chicken wraps or vegetable wraps or something like that, or sandwiches. Just keep it super simple, right? And just eat the same thing, different dinners, same lunch, whatever you want to do, and breakfast, and make it high protein. So when we talk about whole foods, we're talking about high quality foods, right? That aren't full of preservatives, that aren't fake, that aren't full of sugar and processed food. So you want to think something from an animal, something from a tree, something from the ground, right? A lot of people think that they're not allowed to eat carbs. That's totally fine to have carbs. Flour is from the ground, so it's totally fine. Just eat it, in proportion, and don't go overboard. Otherwise you'll feel super bloated. So figure out when you're going to eat your meals, what time you're going to eat your meals, and what you're actually eating. Make a grocery list for yourself. Now, in the Happiness Formula course, I actually have a whole module called Health is Wealth, and I give you all the exercise programs, all the meal plans for you to be able to get back on track. So if that interests you, I'll put a link to the course below. You'll love it. There's a lot more other stuff in there that I'll also discuss with you soon. And the last thing, or second last thing, we want to go to health is not just eating well, but exercise. What type of exercise are you going to do? Make sure you're doing something you actually enjoy. If you're not doing something you enjoy, you're just going to not do it. Like if you hate running, why would you go for a run? Like seriously, just ask yourself, what do I enjoy doing? How can I do that more often? When in my calendar can I fit that in? The more you exercise, the better you're going to feel, the better you're going to show up as a person. And it's healthy for you, right? For your mental health, it's so important. First thing I ever started doing was going to the gym for an hour a day. And I know so many other entrepreneurs and friends of mine, that was the first initial step that they took to help with their mental health issues. The last one is connection and fun. Now, this is a lot of people forget about connecting with others and having fun. Especially if you're an entrepreneur or working from home, we forget to connect with other people. And it can't be forgotten because like that study was done, in the Depression or 1800s, the number one key factor was for happiness. Wasn't just purpose, wasn't just values, wasn't everything I was talking about today, habits and routine, but it was actually social connection. That is when people were the most happy. So have a think right now, when can you connect with a friend? Go out for coffee. Like I will purposely make an effort to catch up with maybe 2 or 3 of my friends every week for coffee or go for a walk or something because I need that. I work from home by myself until my baby's born. That will be a whole different story. But find social connection. Go to meetups. Go connect with people on the weekend. You need social connection. Even if you say you're an introvert, we still need social connection, right? You just limit it. Fun is the second thing there, and you need to have fun. A lot of the time people will feel depressed and unhappy and think, why do I feel like this? I just don't feel like myself, or I feel low today. And it's generally because you haven't had fun. You haven't done anything that actually brings you joy. What are those things that light you up, that spark you? What are those hobbies, those sports, the conversations? Like what actually allows you to feel happy inside internally and experience joy? So I hope these 5 points help. Let's run through them again. We've got understanding what are you in control of and what are you not in control of. That really helps because then you can dial in what you do have control over instead of being super overwhelmed. So that is like the first exercise I suggest you do if you do feel overwhelmed. The second one is routine. Get into a routine. What time are you waking up? Start time blocking. What does it look like for you? Planning. Plan your days efficiently and understand what you're doing every hour of the day with an operating procedure, meaning that you have a list and you know exactly what you're doing each hour of the day so you don't fall off track. Create a productive trigger, and this is something I would really suggest. You can light a candle like I do, you can grab your coffee, and if you sit at the same place every day for that specific thing, sometimes you may not be able to, but I suggest create a trigger. If it's to drink a glass of water while you do your emails, or habit stacking in a way as well. I used to have my coffee and I used to put on a candle at 5 o'clock in the morning, and that was literally my deep work time for 2.5 hours. That was the best productive trigger ever. I don't really do that anymore because I have other productive triggers that I love. And we go to number 4, food and planning for exercise. So eat whole foods, go do grocery shopping, create a plan for your food, and then obviously your exercise. When you're going to exercise, do something you enjoy, otherwise you're probably not going to stick to it. And then lastly, go connect with someone and go do something fun every single week, right? That should be a daily and a weekly habit that you should build. Now, if you want to create better habits, but you want to find more fulfillment and live a happier life right now, I do have a few openings for the Happiness Formula course. It's an awesome course, and I'll take you on a journey for 12 weeks to find purpose, create more clarity, build the dream life that you've always wanted to build, and even create, better planning, better routine, better health, better relationships, but most importantly, better relationship with yourself. So if that interests you, I'll put a link in the description below. Click on it. You can do weekly payments, or you can also do an upfront payment, but you also get accountability every single week, because accountability is absolutely crucial for you to reach your next level, as well as habits. So I hope you enjoyed today's chat with me, how to get back on track. Use this framework. I do it all the time. If you're feeling low, or you come back from holidays, or you just want to recenter yourself after a crazy weekend, use this framework. I can guarantee it will help you. And if you have any other questions, or want to send this podcast or this video to a friend who you think could actually help them, then please do so. Let's make this world a happier place. Have a great day.